Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you're super well. So before we get into today's show, I wanted to announce that our new Earmatch Academy is now live. That's right, guys, the new Earmatch Academy is now live. So if you can visit earmatch.com, that's earmatch.com, and check out this new academy, it might be just what you're looking for. Now, the purpose of this academy is to help you figure out three things, guys. If you're an hip hop artist, we designed this academy to help you achieve three things. Firstly, the academy is designed to help you figure out who you are as an artist. So that's number one. Number two, the academy is designed to help you figure out who your fans are, who those lovely people are that are going to support your music and help you build your brand in the new internet age. And number three, guys, the academy is designed to help you get dialed in on the exact strategy that you need to use to connect with those fans. So that's three simple things. So log on right now, guys, earmatch.com, and check out our brand new Earmatch Academy. Now let's get back to the show. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Sean Frazer Show. So today, in today's live stream, guys, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 5 tips that you can use to build your hip hop brand. 5 really simple tips that I've used or helped other musicians sort of use to sort of build their brands with. So that's really 5 simple tips, guys. So we've just started the stream. I'm just going to wait a little bit longer for a few more people to show up. We're having a bit of a heat wave in London today. We don't usually get that great weather in London, so today's been sunny. It's been lovely, so hope it continues. Hey, what's going on, guys? James, what's going on? So today we're talking about 5 simple tips, 5 things that you can do to build your hip hop brand. If you're a musician, if you're an artist, guys, if you're a producer, if you're involved in the music industry, if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, these 5 steps can also apply to you as well. So hopefully I can impart some value to you guys today that you can take away and, you know, apply to your own situation, whatever that situation might be. So today we're talking about 5 tips on how to build your hip hop brand. Now, for those of you guys that are just coming across my channel or don't know who I am, my name is Sean Frazer. An entrepreneur based in London. I've started over 9 different businesses in a range of different fields, from serviced accommodation, started a design company. I traded the stock market for a long period of time as well. So I do know quite a fair bit about, you know, the startup process, starting businesses and that sort of stuff. I also host a podcast which you can log on to on iTunes right now, called The Sean Frazer Show. So if you're on iTunes, hey, Derek, hey, how you doing, man? So if you're on iTunes right now, log on to iTunes, type in Sean Frazer or The Sean Frazer Show, where you can log on to my podcast and, you know, take me with you guys, if you can. So if you're in the gym, if you're working out, if you're at work and you want to feed your brain with some information that will help you to succeed in your music career or just in your life, then, you know, definitely check the podcast out. So today, guys, we're jumping straight into it. 5 tips on how to build your hip hop brand. I wish someone had told me these things when I first started. I spent a lot of time pedaling the wheel, should we say, spinning the wheel, trying to find, you know, where I fit in. But I'm now in a position where hey Nikki, hey, how you doing? So I'm now in a position where I'm able to sort of impart this information onto you guys. So hopefully I can save you some time, so you don't sort of make some of the mistakes that I've made, throughout my life as an entrepreneur. So today, 5 simple tips to build your music brand. The first tip, guys, the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about, which is number 1, which is to follow your passion. I can't say how much this is important, to follow your passion. I've started so many businesses, some which I wasn't really that much passionate about, especially recruitment, because recruitment was one of those businesses where you're required to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're going back home at 7, 8, sometimes 9 or 10 o'clock at night, because you've been on the phones all day trying to close deals, trying to reach out to clients. To be honest with you, I did not enjoy that part of my life at all. I mean, I don't have a problem with sales, but recruitment is a different type of sales, and I didn't, enjoy it as much as, I enjoy what I'm doing now. So the number 1 thing, guys, that you super have to do is to follow your passion. And when it comes to hip hop, the hip hop is such a broad range, it's such a broad industry that you can pretty much find, something you enjoy, anywhere in the hip hop sort of market. So whether you want to be a video director, whether you want to be an artist, whether you want to be a manager, whether you want to be a label, whether you want to deal with marketing and promotion, whether you want to deal with the event side of it, there's definitely something there for you, no matter where you are, or no matter what skill set you have. So number 1, guys, number one is to follow your passion. You have to follow your passion. Believe me, I want to save you some time, and hopefully you don't sort of make some of the mistakes I've made. Don't follow the money, follow your passion. So that's number 1, guys, follow your passion. Now, step number 2, if you want to, or tip number 2, if you want to build your brand in hip hop, is you have to, or I recommend to inject some personality into your brand, right? So if you're on socials, if you're posting content across your social media, if you're posting your music, if you're posting music videos, or whatever marketing channel that you're using to build your fan base across social media, you definitely want to incorporate your personality into it. And let's be real, guys, we're not all the same. I myself, I would consider myself more of an introverted extrovert. So, it's kind of a bit of both. But if you're introverted and you don't like being in front of the camera, if you don't like, interacting with people, whatever it is, it's okay to say that, because we're in a world now where transparency is super important. Transparency is an asset, should we say. So it's important to be authentic as possible when you are building your brand. And just be open with your audience, say what you're all about. And if you're introverted, if you're extroverted, if you have things that you do that you don't mind sharing with the world, then just be as open as possible, because authenticity is what connects people. So step number 2, guys, is to put or use your personality in your brand. Step number 3, or tip number 3, guys, is to talk it up. No matter whatever you're selling, make sure you talk it up. A good example of someone who does this very well is Donald Trump. Everything's always, he always puts a spin on things, and that seems to help him with his marketing, help him, get the results that he wants. Another good example of someone who's legendary, who's good at talking things up, is Muhammad Ali. I'm sure if you haven't seen any of his videos yet, go onto YouTube right now and watch some of his videos. And he's always, telling people that he is the greatest He's the greatest that ever lived. He's the greatest that ever done it. So that's a way of talking it up, talking himself up, installing confidence in people, in him. So talk it up, guys. Whatever you're doing, put a positive spin on it. Always put a positive spin on it. You can sort of use a negative, what we call a negative strategy in some instances, but in most cases, guys, you want to give a positive impression of your brand. You want to give a positive impression of yourself, of your music. So to aid that, you want to talk it up. So you want to get onto social media right now and tell everyone, you know, why you're the greatest rapper that ever lived, why you're the greatest musician that ever lived, why you're the greatest manager that ever lived, why you're the greatest entrepreneur that ever lived. So that means talking things up. So talk yourself up, talk things up, and set a bar as to where, you know, you want to position yourself as a brand. So that's number 3, guys. Number 3 is to always talk things up and leave a positive impression in the minds of your audience. Now, number 4, guys, is you want to become a thought leader. The reason you want to become a thought leader in your space is because as you grow your career, as you grow your brand, as you grow your business, it takes a lot of time to develop. It takes a lot of time to develop, whether it's your brand, whether it's your business, it's going to take a lot of time. But if you can focus on becoming a thought leader in your space or in your niche, then what that does is it allows you, or it puts you in a position where you get people coming to you for your expertise, right? So if you're, for example, let's take for example Little Dicky. He does sort of a funny style rap, right? It's like a comedic type rap. So if I'm a producer and I've done a song that requires that sort of expertise, then it's really easy then for me to go out, reach out to Little Dicky and, you know, pitch him, because he's building his brand in a space where it's very niche, and it allows him to, you know, really have a lot of upside. Because he's becoming a thought leader in that space. And it doesn't matter what space you're in. The overall objective, guys, is to become a thought leader in whatever space or whatever niche you're occupying. So if you're doing nostalgic music, if you're doing old school R&B, old school hip hop, if you're doing alternative rock, if you're doing indie rock, or whatever genre that you're doing, you really want to become a thought leader in that space. And you can become a thought leader in your space by releasing content that is of value to your users. You could release a book on your space if you have, you know, a particular sort of area of expertise in that space. You could do speeches, you can put on events. The overall goal, guys, the overall objective is to become a thought leader in your space, so that people are seeking you out for your expertise, as opposed to you sort of going out and pitching people. Because if people are seeking you out, then, you know, obviously you have more business coming in, you have more bookings coming in, more people listening to your music, because you are the authority in that space. So that's number 4, guys, number 4 is to become a thought leader in your space. Number 5, guys, number 5 is to remember that we are all entrepreneurs. We're all born to be entrepreneurs. We all come into this world with an idea of what we want, of where we want to take our life, but somehow along the way, life pushes back at us and beats us down and tell us that we can't achieve what it is that we're trying to achieve. But I want you to know that it's all a lie. You can achieve anything that you want, anything that you put your mind to. So tip number 4 is to remember that you are an entrepreneur. You're born to be an entrepreneur. So don't give up on that. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be a dentist, you could be a musician, you could be an artist, a rapper, a singer, songwriter. It really doesn't matter. If you adapt the entrepreneurial mindset and go out there and find opportunities, find ways to bring value to other people, then you are far more likely to succeed in whatever you're doing compared to someone who's not taking these steps. So tip number 5 is to remember that we're all entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Your mum's an entrepreneur. Your dad's an entrepreneur. We're all born entrepreneurs. So don't let the world try to knock you off your feet and take your dreams away from you. So those are my 5 tips, guys, for today. 5 really simple tips that you can use if you are building your hip hop brand, if you're building your business. Then use these tips where you can to achieve the success that you want. So tip number 1, guys, is to start with your passion. Don't make the mistake I made, doing things for money because it felt right. Do things from a place of passion, from a place of love, and you are far more likely to succeed, far more likely to stick in there when times get tough. Tip number 2 is to add your personality to your brand, and your personality can be, it could be whatever your personality is. Add it to your brand, because over time what you'll find is you'll meet like-minded people along the way who share the same personality that you do, and then they will become your tribe, they will become your community. Tip number 3 is to talk things up. Always talk your brand up. Always put a positive spin on your brand, so that in the minds of your consumers they have a positive impression. Just take Donald Trump or take Muhammad Ali as examples, and always talk your brand up. Tip number 4 is to become a thought leader in your space. Seek to become a thought leader in your space, no matter what space you're in, and over time that will serve you well for your career, that will serve you well for your brand, and you will eventually having people seeking you out for your expertise as opposed to you going out and seeking other people out. And tip number 5, guys, is that we're all entrepreneurs. We're all entrepreneurs, guys. We all come into this world with our dreams, with our hopes, with our aspirations. So don't let go of that. Be an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. So go out there and do entrepreneurial things. So those are my 5 tips for today, guys. If you want to build a successful brand, apply these tips where possible to your own situation and make them work for you. So that's 5 simple tips, guys, to build your hip hop brand in 2018. Guys, if you're online, if you're on iTunes, do check my podcast out. Just simply type Sean Frazer into the search bar and my podcast will pop up. Either type Sean Frazer, type the Sean Frazer Show in iTunes, and the podcast will pop up. Alternatively, if you're on social, I'm Sean_Frazer across social media. So if you're on Spotify, if you're on Twitter, Instagram, then follow me, Sean_Frazer. And I will be back again tomorrow, guys, at 7 p.m. To give you more tips, more inspiration to help you take your music career to the next level. So until tomorrow, guys, goodbye for now. Goodbye.